Right guys, so I'm back with the Verkerk Volvo cab, which had kind of got constructed in the last one, and cleaned up the other parts I'd previously primed and stuff like that. I got the roof up there, and basically I want to make a start now and get the interior walls painted. A lot of it is going to be covered with door cards and the pillars and lockers and stuff like that, but I do believe there is still going to be some parts of the wall showing, and I don't want that white, nor do I want it in grey primer. I have chose a colour for the interior, matches the exterior but without the metallics, so it's kind of keeping the theme. And all the yellowy creamy parts for the interior I'm going to be keeping. I've kept the floor and just up the side of the bunk there in the grey. That's the only thing I've left grey, and the rest is going like in a flat nice purple and a dark purple, so it should really look well with the cream and make the rest of the interior and parts of the door cards and the seat edges and everything else. So I want to just get the cab out the way, and then hopefully get the exterior of all the cab parts painted, and then I can move on to the inside, because it's just the nature of this build. You can't just paint the cab at the end with everything being glued inside the interior, which you'll see in upcoming videos of this truck. It's a very intricate and detailed interior, so we're going to move on now and get the interior walls painted, and I'm just going to do the inside of the roof cap as well, just for safety measures. It does show like a roof canopy in there, but I don't know if anything's going to show through that. And like I say, I don't want the white, nor do I want the grey primer. So I've got the colour for inside, so we'll go and get that done now. I have washed and flattened off the prime coats on the exterior and interior of the cab, and for the interior I'm using this Artifacts. Now I've used this on various stuff before, and it can be used with all Halfords products, like their lacquers and stuff should you want it sheeny, but it is actually a Halfords product. Like I say, this is for the interior. So yeah, I am just heating this up in here just to warm the paint up. It's just warm water, it's not overly hot. So I've got the interior painted, pretty obvious what colour. I've got the walls done there now, innit? Got all the cab put together and primed, and we've got it all masked up inside now, and I'm just going to base coat everything in this BMW Glacier Silver. I've already got some parts already base coated and a few parts still to prime, and then once everything's all got a base coat on there and stuff, I'll paint everything all in one go with its top coat, so that way I know everything's got a nice even finish. With the base coat, don't really matter to me, but that top coat I do want to be all done, everything all in one go. But I'm going to crack on now and get the base coat done on the cab, and I'll check back in a while. So, quite a productive day. I've got the Volvo all primed, and I have the base coat of silver laid down. And as I said, I'm just going to leave it until I've got everything, all the body panels done, because there is still just one or two more items on there, such as like mud guards. We've got the inner arches there, yep, all part of the rear arches. So mainly little fender bits, but all stuff that are going to need painting to the same colour as the body. So just a few little bits there to get primed, big bulk of it out the way, and then I can move on to the interior. Now for the rear air deflectors here, in the manual, fitting the brackets come at a later stage. Now I wasn't happy about that, because it means gluing onto your paintwork. So I'm just going to colour coordinate all the brackets, Same on the back of the skirts there as well. That was kind of the same principle. And there was also the roof. I don't know if I can get under there and show you. But that basically allows me then to have points to grab the parts with the helping hands and stuff. Otherwise I'd be lying it flat and one side ain't going to get coloured, and I wouldn't be too happy with that. So this is the first coats, the first base coat laid down, and then I can get the colour coat down. But yeah, it's coming together nicely. More just to keep you updated on the cab. Like I say, a few little bits and bobs down here to paint, and once they're done, I don't have any body panels or anything exterior to worry about, and I can then focus on the interior and get it all together. So happy days. So as I stated, I did just have to attach the like little brackets to the side skirts and stuff like that, and the air deflectors. So I've had to skip on to like section, where are we, 64A. So I've had to make quite a jump, and then again with the roof I've had to jump to 66A. Literally only little brackets. So as far as the manual goes, we ain't missing out on much. So we've got all this bit complete. There's just this to stick up to the front of the cab, the front part of like the bumper, the front of the truck. But it is all ready for its next course, and then it's this interior part. But first off, as this is like a construction bit and the other bits are just like tabs that you glue on, I am just going to go through these parts and build section 51A up with you. So section 51A, 51B to come. It's quite a straightforward one. Blue is glue, so I have the glue. I've got me little bits of nuts and screws that I need there. There's a couple of XV116s. They're just tiny little hex bolts, the nuts, and some washers there. And basically we're just gonna be putting together the like inner arch and more of like the front fender, if you will. This little lip here. The manual's back to front, but the build process is still the same. So I've just got to put a washer each on the bolts, as it states here, and then there's two more to go behind the nuts when we bolt this little bit up. So I think it's straightforward. Don't forget to clean up your parts and inside there, or it won't sit flush. So it's looking like this is going to bolt up onto there, and then this is going to glue in there like so. So it'll probably be easier to bolt this up first lightly and then tighten it up once we get that in. So I'm going to need a nut and a washer, and from the bottom of the inner arch, just slot that onto there. These fiddly little washers, nut, hold that in place. Right. There's a little bit of glue around the corner there as well, so I'm presuming that is just to add a bit of glue there, and then it'll just stick it up to the back of this, but we'll do that in a moment. Let's just make sure it all fits first. Right. And that's gonna glue into there like so. Bit of cement. Just gonna pop that in there. And a little bit of glue under here. So I'll just push that open a little bit and run that on there. There we go. And tighten that up, and basically just going to repeat that for the other side. So that is the inner arches, guys. So I'm going to do the other side, get these cleaned up again because I've been handling them. Could have greasy fingerprints and stuff, and you don't want that when you're painting. That whole white section is going to get glued up to the inside of the cab, like so. And that's so that's a big panel to glue. At the moment it is becoming a little bit confusing here and there, and it really genuinely does have you going back, forth, because you really do have to plan for paint. Glue melts the paint and stuff, and you could really make a hash of it if you was to get it wrong. Well, it's not a case that you get it wrong. I suppose there is no wrong way or right way of doing it. It's your own preference on how to build it. But I don't personally like gluing onto paint. I'd rather have everything all pre-done. But in the case with this build, it's not always the way. You can't just do that. But yeah, it's really got me thinking. So just before I move on with the actual painting, I'm going to put the front bit there, as I said. But if you look here, you have to put 2 nuts and glue them into the little nut recesses here. So we're just going to pop a little drop of glue in there and then drop these 2 little nuts into either side of those, and then we're just going to sand that off, the glue, just a little sanding down there with the glue, and then stick the front to the cab, and then that is all ready for its final colour coat. So I've got the bumper in, glued in there, scuffed it all up to glue it in, but it was just, I ain't gonna lie, an absolute pain in the arse. It was about the 4th try. It just kept popping off, so I've had to like run it with super glue down the edge and just keep hold of it, because there ain't really any clamping points for clamps. So I've just had to keep hold of it for like a few minutes till it sets, and then same on the other side. But yeah, the cement just wasn't grabbing it, so I've just had to, like I say, a bit of super glue. But yeah, that absolutely pissed me off. So, paint time. Let's get these first coats on. So I've just got the first coats on there. And it's pretty obvious what the colour is now. It's actually a Ford purple velvet. You would have found it on a lot of 70s, 80s Fords. And it's just a really nice metallic purple. Like I say, this is just the first coat, but I base coated it in silver. So as you see, it just pops more in the light. A lot of nice sparkle there. So that's just its basic first couple of light coats, and I am just going to give it a third. Just then I know we've got all the coverage properly. On a couple of coats it all looks well, but as it's all drying out and stuff, you can just see odd blemishes where it just needs filling in. That is a little blemish there where it's not built up enough, so another coat should cure that. And I'll probably leave that till overnight or later this evening, and then I will apply the clear lacquer coats and then just leave that for a couple of days. But in the meantime, we can start building up that interior. So that is the Verkerk Volvo now, basically at a stage where I'm ready to construct it. As I say, I've got the interior to build all in there, so that video will be coming in the next few days also. As I say, I just need to clear coat this, let all that cure before I even think of messing about in there. So yeah, it's kind of more turned out into a weird vlog at the minute, but with my tank and everything else going on, I'm not able just to like lay out and get organised. So we've managed though. Here it all is, ready to go. So again, I do thank you all for watching, guys. I appreciate every one of you, because without you this wouldn't happen. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you're not already subscribed, do so. Hit the notification bell, and if the video I post isn't for you, then just ignore the notification. And if you don't like the video, dislike it. Makes no difference to me. Ciao for now, guys.